Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm Shandira Ankiah, Fisheries Officer. I'll be presenting a report for Trinidad and Tobago. It was a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Trinidad and the Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries Tobago. Outline, we'll be looking at an overview, production, management measures, institutional and legal framework, research, education and training, key developments over the last 20 years, and projections for future advancement. A general overview. Trinidad and Tobago, TTO, is located northeast of Venezuela. It's separated from Venezuela by the 70-20-mile wide Gulf of Paria. Our land area is an estimated 5,128 kilometers squared, with a coastline of 704 kilometers. Our EEZ area is that of 77,502 kilometers squared, making the ocean space some 15 times the land space. Our fishery sector, it accounts for 14% of the agricultural GDP, 0.1% of the national GDP. We're a net importer of fish and fish products such as chilled, frozen, processed, and live. In 2022, our imports accounted for 366.6 million TT, and our exports estimated 90.7 million TT. Our subsectors, we have the inland fishery, which consists of aquaculture and subsistence and a low-level commercial. The target species are tilapia and cascadura, and we have aquarium and ornamental fishes. We have commercial marine capture fisheries, which provides food fish for both local or export markets. Our targeted species are that of the pelagics, demersals, and reef species, and our fleets consist of both artisanal vessels and non-artisanal fleets. Artisanal being pirogue vessels, and our non-artisanal being our larger semi-industrial or industrial vessels. We also have non-vessel fishing, such as hand collection of fish and oysters. There's a recreational section, which includes pirogues, cabin cruisers, charter boat enterprises, game fishing tournaments, and hand lines of piers or jetties. Our post-harvest sector. This sector comprises of a range of processors and traders. We have 12 processing plants in Trinidad and 3 in Tobago, and 25 companies engaged in imports and exports. For ornamental fish, we have 2 major companies that does exports. We have 17 individuals that are involved in the importation of ornamental fish. Inland fisheries and aquaculture. Food fish. Our annual production of food fish estimates to be that of 17 tons. The estimated annual value of $255,000 TT. TTO has an estimated 100 aquaculture establishments, being subsistence, small, and commercial, of which 18 are registered as commercial farms. An estimated 200 persons are employed in the aquaculture industry, with an approximate 30% being that of female. Over the period of years, we have the trend showing for landings. The artisanal multi-glare fleet, we are looking at nets and line. So during the periods of 1996 to 2012, we have an estimation of fluctuating landings from these vessels. In terms of the trawl fleets, which is divided into 3 sections: artisanal trawl, which is our pirogue vessels; our non-artisanal semi-industrial, which consists of 1 stern, and the double rig trawlers, which consist of 2 outriggers. From the data shown, the double rig trawlers have a higher landing during the period of 1996 to 2014. Our marine capture fisheries, based on the 2021 preliminary estimates, is 13,084 metric tons. An estimated 70% of the total landings are from our commercial fisheries of Trinidad, with an estimated ex-vessel value of 242.8 million TT. Our artisanal fleet targets mackerels, croakers, snappers, lobsters, spinach, shrimp, kingfish. Our non-artisanal trawl fleet, the main target species is shrimp, with bycatch species being that of the croaker, lane snapper, and common snook. We also have a non-artisanal pelagic longline fleet. The main target species of this fleet is that of the yellowfin tuna, big-eyed tuna, and swordfish. The bycatch consists of albacore, marlins, and mackerels. For the last 8 years, it landed an estimated of 1,058 tons to 1,512 tons, with over 85% of the landings being that of yellowfin tuna. 80% of this fleet landings are exported, mainly to the USA. Our management measures overall objective is long-term sustainability of fisheries resources and ecosystems for the benefit of the people of TTO. Specific objectives: optimize the benefits from the fisheries resources and related ecosystems, improve quality of data and information available for decision making. Our management measures for the trawl fisheries, there are trawl fisheries regulations, there are fishing area restrictions. We have no new entrants since 2013. We have updated shrimp and groundfish management plan. Artisanal gill nets, we have the Fisheries Act. We have a specific nest size, which is 4.25, supposed to be fished, and size restrictions for some major species. The sea turtles, protection of turtles and turtle egg regulations, turtle excluded devices regulations, and conservation of the Wildlife Act. And the longline fleet, they observe ICAT conservation and management measures. Institutional and legal framework. The mandate of the fisheries falls under the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, Fisheries Division, Trinidad, and the Tobago House of Assembly, Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries. There's several other government agencies that has a role in fisheries management: Maritime Services, Forestry, National Security, Ministry of Trade and Industry. There are cabinets appointed in interagency collaboration to address IUU fishing. The fisheries are managed under 3 pieces of legislation: the Fisheries Act, Control of Importation of Live Fish Act of 1950, and the Archipelagic Waters and EEZ Act of 1986. Currently, there's no legal framework for the management of aquaculture. There are a new fisheries management bill, which is currently before a joint select committee of Parliament, and once enacted, regulations of fishing and fishing-related activities of both TTO flagged and foreign flag vessels will occur. TTO is a member of 2 regional fishery bodies, CRFM and WCAPC, and we're also a member of ICAT. Additionally, that of UNCLOS, UN Fish Stocks Agreements, Compliance Agreements, and Sports State Measures Agreement. Research, education, and training. For research, we have statistical and biological data collection. Statistical data collection occurs for artisanal and non-artisanal longline fleet, and our biological data collection for that of our trawl fleet. And the Fisheries Division research activities are dictated mainly by regional donor-funded projects in which TTO is participating. Some of the initiatives over the last 20 years include stock assessments, trawl gear trials with the BRDs, shrimp bycatch and discard practices, fish culture and aquaponics, and flow-through tank-based recirculating system. Education and training. This occurs by public education and outreach by community groups, schools, career fairs, and exhibitions. There are training within our Aquaculture Demonstration Center, and some of the focus is on introduction to commercial aquaculture, pond construction, aquaponics, and hatchery management, and training at CFTDI, the Caribbean Fisheries Training and Development Institute, in maritime and seafood courses. Key development trends over the last 20 years includes new fisheries management legislation, new fisheries management database and information system, interagency collaboration, VMS, single electronic window, and collaboration within the CRFM framework. Projects for future advancement. Blue Economy Rapid Readiness Assessment RRA pilot project was undertaken in TTO in November 2022. The RRA concluded TTO's readiness to embark on transition to sustainable blue economy, acceleration of passage of fisheries and shipping legislation, implementation of ICCM and maritime policies, and high-level commitment. Thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Ms. Compton has her hand raised. Yes.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for your presentation. Similar question to one that I asked earlier, but just wondering if the new fisheries bill that is before Parliament speaks to any sort of coordinating mechanism for fisheries, such as a fisheries advisory committee or council, and is there any sort of mandate in place that is, encompasses fisheries, but of course looks at the other sectors and speaking to ocean policy?
The current fisheries management bill that it's before the JSA, yes, we should have a monitoring committee and interagencies collaboration. At present, it's before JSE, and hopefully by the end of September, we shall be going on to our second rounds of public consultation.
If I may just add to Ms. Ankiah's response, we currently have a mechanism for interagency collaboration through a memorandum of understanding among 6 government regulatory agencies. These include the Ministry of Agriculture, the Tobago House of Assembly, the Ministry of National Security, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Ministry of Works and Transport, and the Ministry of Finance, where there is the Customs and Excise Division. And this memorandum of understanding was approved by Cabinet and signed in August of 2019 for strengthened routine collaboration to combat IU fishing, but to address other matters regarding fisheries like trade and so on. Under the actual proposed new fisheries management bill, in a previous version of the bill, we did have provision for an advisory committee. But what happened during the process of stakeholder consultation is that many entities wanted to be represented on the committee, and it would have been an unwieldy arrangement. So what we've done is within the general provision section, make a provision for the minister to actually make regulations for a mechanism to be instituted for stakeholder engagement in the fisheries management process. And in fact, it's one of the regulations that's prioritized for development. But what we propose to do is actually engage the industry in discussions as to what might be the best framework for the sharing of information and the transfer of information from what is happening on the ground to the decision makers, and of course transfer back down from decision makers to what is happening on the ground. So we do see a kind of tiered system with representation being sort of aggregated as you go up to perhaps one sort of monitoring and advisory committee. Thank you.
Thank you both for those responses. Good to know that that is built into the framework and within the bill itself.
Thank you very much.